I'm Wayne Evans,
I'm Maureen McGuigan,
and you're watching.
living in the city.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is kind of fun.
It is. Where are we, Maureen? We're in Center Street.
We're
I
in
think, right?
like one of the hippest spots in Scranton right now, Center Street.
I know.
Which, if you don't know, is a cool little alley space next to the Casey Laundry building,
Yeah.
which is behind the Hilton Hotel and Vita, between North Washington and Adams.
And right. And if you didn't tell people where we were, they'd probably think we were in Soho or Greenwich Village or
Bob
some
Dylan,
other cool place.
1965 could be standing here.
Yeah, that's right. Doing his famous song.
Which is what's really cool about Scranton right now,
Yeah.
is we're getting a lot of these. I know hip is an overused word, but I think it fits. Like, we're becoming a
Yeah.
cool little city
We're
because
getting
of spaces like this.
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah. And this is just recently done. In the last several months, Center Street's been done with the brick pavers and the concrete pavers, and it looks great with period lighting.
And there's a
you
cool
know,
mural behind
Yeah,
us.
it's
and
the old
some
telephone
art.
building, actually, that I spent some time in my former life. So it's really hard to believe that as little as 5 years ago, this was a beat-up, dirty alley. Behind me, there was probably 20 tons of dirt blocking the alley so cars didn't go through it. I mean, it was a blighted, downtrodden area, and look at it today.
And then, I know, and thanks to visionaries like Ken Markey and Paul Nardone and the city itself,
Yeah.
the mayor, and a number of other community leaders,
Exactly.
it has become a cool spot.
Yeah.
And that's why we thought it was a good one to open our show today, which is about kind of small business,
Small
but
business.
people really transforming the way we do business and the way we create places.
Right,
you know?
and the way we think about our city, and I
Right.
think that's important as well.
Because it's, you could run up to Best Buy or Borders, but if you have things in your city that are cool, it's just a better experience. I think
Well,
we've talked a lot about the experience
exactly.
of shopping and hanging out downtown.
Yeah, and people need to think twice about, if I have an opportunity to go to a place like we're going to visit now, or do I go to a big box up by the
Right.
mall? Let's give downtown Scranton a second look, and some of these stores a second look, and experience what we're going to show you today, and relax, enjoy yourself, because it's not as hurried as it is up on Viewmont Drive.
Right,
You know,
right.
so
And the customer service is great because these
Yeah.
are people who care about their city. So we're going to start off today talking to Andrea Talarico of Anthology and Paul Nardone of Outrageous, and we're going to visit a couple other places
Okay.
and take you on a little tour.
all right, great. So see you on the
Oh.
second floor.
So many books, so little time. Well, here we are. We're up on the second floor of the Outrageous building in the Casey Laundry building, standing here with Andrea Talarico, the proprietor of Anthology Books. And so, Andrea, tell us, how did this all come about?
Well, I decided that I really was serious about opening a bookstore about a year and a half ago. I was working in one of the chain bookstores, which I did for 7 years, and I remember kind of having a revelatory moment where I said, I'm really not making any money selling books, but I still love the industry, and if I'm not going to make any money selling books, I really should just do it for myself.
Good move.
And then about a week or two later, I talked to Paul Nardone from Outrageous, who had this space here available, and one thing led to another, and here I am.
Great, and talk about space. This is a great space.
Thank you,
We're on the
thank
second
you.
floor of the Casey Laundry building, above Outrageous.
Yes.
And you see the brick, the spiral duct all over us. I mean, it's a great urban downtown space.
I very much wanted that. I wanted to create something intimate, something unique. I also really wanted to be in close proximity to a cafe, and having Outrageous's coffee
Right.
house connected is perfect because we, have the couches and the chairs up here. You can bring your coffee and relax. I wanted to be in a historic spot if possible.
That it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of being on a second floor and utilizing that space. I think it's very progressive, very urban,
Yeah.
very environmentally friendly as well.
Yeah, we hope to see more of that downtown, too.
And what is your product? What will people find when they come to Anthology?
Okay, it's a general interest, new and used bookstore. It is mostly used, quality used books, as I like to say. Sounds like a car salesman, but it's true. They're mostly hardcover books. They're all in
Okay.
good condition. They're all alphabetical and sectioned. It's not the kind of used bookstore you come into and it's piles of dust and nothing is in any kind of order. I do carry some new titles. I try to get newer best-selling titles,
okay.
keeping up with the New York Times bestseller list and items like that. But I carry a little bit of everything, strong focus on poetry, literary fiction, and children's titles.
I was going to ask you that because that's how you're different from the box. The box
exactly.
store. You're selling used books. I don't think they do that at all, first of all. Plus, the atmosphere is totally different anyway. Now, can you go to the coffee shop downstairs and can you bring your coffee up here and relax and do it just like you would normally do? Okay. What you've done. Okay.
It works, and there's free Wi-Fi in the entire building, so
Oh,
you can bring
okay.
your coffee, you can bring your laptop, you can set up with a book and sit here like Maureen has done
Yeah.
on a lunch
Yeah.
break and
Yep.
relax, get work done
Yes.
in a bookstore downtown.
Yeah, it's very cozy up here. That's for
Also,
sure.
Andrea, I have to say, you've really done a great job, I think, about creating a culture of books and people, a community space. What are some of the events that you do here?
Oh, thanks for asking, and thank you for the compliment. I try to be involved. You know, I run the poetry events at Test Pattern, so and I write poetry, as you know, Maureen
Yeah,
also does.
yeah.
So I have that crowd of people that I talk to and try to work with. But we have all different sorts of events. This week coming up, we have a woman named Annie Early who wrote a book on dating, and she contacted me through a publisher, and I said, sure, why not?
Absolutely.
You know, this week we had Angela DeMiro, who is an intuitive artist, and she designed and created her own cards to read angelic messages. We've had local history authors, poets, children's story hours. I try to cover as much ground as possible to reach out to as many different types of readers as possible.
Well, how does the public, the general public, know these things are happening in anthology books? I mean, what's your outreach? What's your marketing tool for that?
Okay, right now I have an email list, which is about 225
Oh,
names.
okay.
I always contact Electric City. They're great. They can, you know, at the last second, they always put in the articles. MySpace has been actually a very
Oh,
great
yeah?
tool, which I wasn't expecting, but I always, you know, put things up there and post bulletins, and I get good responses there. And I poster flyer at Northern Light Cafe. This great, you know, a lot of kids there.
Yep.
And the college campuses. We
Oh,
try to
okay.
get flyers
Yeah.
there.
Built-in market right up the street,
And
that's for
can
sure.
people call you? Is there a phone number for the bookstore? What is that?
It's 941-9630.
Okay. I think it's an awesome space, an awesome scene, obviously, for what's happening downtown. This is the type of stuff that we continually have to do downtown. I mean, this country is going to be built, in downtown Scranton, too, we're based and built on small businesses. I mean, this is
I
where
agree.
the growth is in the 21st century. So we really, really have to foster what you're doing here and compliment you, because, you know, it's easy to talk about it, but it's a lot more difficult to actually do it, and you're doing it.
That's for
and-
sure.
And how are things going? Are they?
It's going well. I had
Yeah.
a very successful holiday season. We're into January, which I was explaining
Oh,
is a
yeah.
slower month, but that's everywhere. That's
Everywhere.
everywhere. That's
Yeah.
nationally, it's locally. But my holiday season was great, and I hope that's indicative for what's to come. I'm very optimistic about it, and
Great.
I'm really happy with the way things are going, and I hope they keep progressing.
This is a person, I know that you're a great poet. Do you get to do a little bit of writing in between?
I try. I read less now than I have in a while, that's
How
for
about that?
sure. Yeah, there's not so much spare time, but poetry I don't try to find spare time. I create the time to write. I think that's important for all poets. Take time out of every day to do your writing and craft it, not to just make it a hobby. So I am still writing poetry always.
Well, and we know that part of this beautiful store came about with a partnership of Paul Nardone. So Wayne and I are going to hopefully talk to him for a few minutes and talk about the overall vision of the building and it being a destination place. But I
Yes.
really want to thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you
sharing
very
your
much.
vision and your
Thank you.
intelligence, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well, we encourage, you know, people who are watching the show to definitely come down, make a stop downtown, and take a trip up the Cobblestone Center Street and up
Great.
to the second floor.
I guess my only plug for the store would be that I can order also.
Oh,
Even
okay.
though it's used
Okay.
books, I can order used books and new books. So,
Right.
you know, if you need anything, you can call me to order that book.
There's no reason not to come here.
There's no
Coffee,
reason.
books, ordering,
Exactly.
good personality. So come on
Everything.
down.
Everything.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Well, thank you.
All right, Wayne, let's head downstairs.
Okay. Bye, Maureen. We made our way down to Outrageous, and we're here with the proprietor of Outrageous, Paul Nardone. Paul, how are you?
I'm doing really well, thanks.
That's great. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your history with this building, where we are, how you got here?
Sure. We're in the Casey Laundry Building. The Casey Laundry Building was an annex building to the former Casey Hotel, which was just off the front door here. The building was purchased, I guess we're going back about 5 years, by
Yeah.
Ken Marquis.
Yeah.
He's a Wilkes-Barre businessman who saw the potential in this building.
Right, the vision.
The vision in this building. And he came up with this idea of creating a retail environment and his art gallery. He's the proprietor of Marquis Art and Frame, so we're very connected in this
Right.
building. And above us, there's 3 apartments. So he was one of the first to bring downtown living here, and also kind of restore this building for this retail business on here.
And I hate to break in, but those apartments are spectacular.
The
too.
apartments are spectacular.
Yeah,
Each
yeah.
apartment
Yeah.
huge, 3,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
Awesome.
He had a great vision for it, and he did it right. He did it right.
So now your involvement with Andrea in anthropology, how did that come about?
Well, when I came here, this business was very new to me 4 years ago. I just started a retail business, and Ken and I had met each other.
Oh, okay.
And he said, "Would you like to come up and see something that I'm thinking of doing in Scranton?" And I said, "Sure." I'm always interested in hearing and seeing about things. When I saw this and saw that it was 2 floors, it's a lot of space. For a retailer,
Right.
you've got to have a lot of vision for 3,000
Exactly.
square feet of space. So I've had the second floor now for what is probably 4 years. And I've dabbled with it. I had furniture at one time,
remember
and
that, yeah.
we tried to expand our retail selection up there. Nothing fit really well, and had an opportunity to meet Andrea, and one of my folks, Stacy, was talking about her knowledge of books, and we thought, gee, we've got a coffee business here, we've got a retail business here, I've got this second floor. That seems like it might be a great fit. So we sat down and talked with Andrea, Stacey and I did, and the bookstore seemed like a great fit. It makes sense. I mean, coffee and books and art, it all goes together.
All that goes
so,
together. And it's hard to believe that there's not a bookstore downtown. And this is it.
Yeah, and it's great that
Yeah.
that this is sort of one of those independent,
Yeah.
not one of the big box stores,
Exactly.
That's kind of what we're focusing on today's
Yeah,
show
yeah.
is the independent, outside the box thinkers and
Yeah.
how
Great.
important that is to a downtown's health. Like you were talking about earlier, creating a destination place for people.
And this did exactly that. Just this bookstore, just added yet another layer of experience and another layer of selection
Yeah.
for people in the downtown of all ages, of all backgrounds. I mean,
Yeah.
we're such an inclusive place. There's
Well,
nothing here that's for one particular demographic.
Because your store is the same way, and the bookstore. People will drive, people will come for something different, something unique.
Well, I have to interject. I think it's really the nice thing about these smaller businesses. You get such a quality customer service
Yeah.
experience. I mean, I've brought dresses in here and been like, Paul, pick out some earrings for me. And Andrea, or
Yeah.
whoever's
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
That's true.
and like Andrea will be like, I'm looking for this person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you get in a smaller.
You do, and the way this building was set up, that it's all open, it's sort
Right.
of one space that flows very well
Yeah.
amongst itself. The folks who are here, just whether you're getting a coffee or you're buying some jewelry or a gift, or you're
Yeah.
upstairs, and these guys all sort of interchange themselves
They
from
are,
one
they're-
side, cross-trained, and they're really good. They like being here.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like an
Absolutely.
experience.
And it's
Like you
kinda-
go away feeling good because all of the staff is great and all the
Absolutely.
businesses.
And
Absolutely.
we talked about upstairs, this whole downtown urban experience. We're, as a city, we're just kind of catching up.
Absolutely.
And now we're almost there. And so a space like yours 4 or 5 years ago, this space here, was kind of on the leading edge. And now it's hopefully will start to become the norm.
Well, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people come in
Yeah.
and say, gee,
Yeah.
I'm surprised to find this in Scranton, and I'm
Exactly.
really looking forward to the day when people come in and sort of expect this
Expect
to be
it.
what Scranton is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have to add that, we are a destination. We're
Right.
not on a main street. We're sort of tucked away
Yeah.
between Lackawanna and Spruce and whatnot,
Yeah.
and North Washington and Adams, but we recently had the Center Street project was
Yeah.
completed. The mayor was
Yeah.
really determined to make Center Street a little bit more of a destination,
Yeah.
and provided a
And it
great
looks
walk
great.
path.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of good things working for us. We're really thrilled to
Yep.
be here.
Well, it is cool. I mean, just walking through the alley, it feels like the space is really transformed. I would encourage anybody to just get down here and, walk through the alley, come in, get a coffee, buy a pair of earrings, go upstairs, buy a book. So,
Yeah, you can,
right.
you can,
Do
you
the
can
whole
sort of
works.
do it all here.
That's
You
right.
can do it all.
That's right. Get
So-
a frame.
yeah, get a frame, right? We can't forget the
Frame.
framing
Look at some
store,
artwork.
right?
Have a
Yeah.
coffee. Everything. Yeah.
And it all works.
Yeah.
It all
And-
works together.
And it's all a great experience.
It
Exactly.
is, and that's exactly right. And I go back to what you said. It is an experience.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you for talking to
Yeah,
us.
it's my pleasure.
Appreciate it.
We
My pleasure.
appreciate it.
My
And
pleasure.
I think Wayne and I are now going to head to another destination place where you can buy records in downtown
About that.
Scranton.
A record. What's that?
Right. Thanks, Paul.
You're very welcome.
So we're at destination number 2, cool destination in Scranton. We were talking about Center Street earlier, but this is also a hip little block. 300 block of Adams Avenue has become quite the place to be. And we're standing in Embassy Vinyl, which is a record shop, which is kind of cool. That's been here about a year and a half now. And we're lucky enough to have RJ Harrington, the proprietor, here to talk to us today. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Let's talk a little bit about your vision. How did this start? How did you decide to open a record store?
Well, when I was 16, I kind of got into collecting records and everything like that, and it's something that I always kind of wanted to do, but I went to college for other things, and then after college, I couldn't find a job in my chosen field, so I started to work at a used record store, and I really just dug it, and 2 years of working for a gentleman in Wilkes-Barre, and I decided I think I could do it on my own, so I did it.
Yeah. See, that's how all the great entrepreneurs started. They couldn't find a job in their chosen field, so they became entrepreneurs, and which is a great story.
Yeah.
I have to tell you though, RJ, this is my world here because I grew up in the age of vinyl.
Yeah.
So I spent all my childhood in record stores, not CD stores or tape stores, but record stores. Right down on Spruce Street, there was Melody Record Store, and the next block that was Spruce Records, and then the next block was Melody. So downtown Scranton was always a home for vinyl. And it's nice to see it come back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Capitol Records was.
Well, yeah, made it, but I'm
Southside.
talking about
no,
like
but
the
I'm
record
saying
store.
like
Oh,
we have
yeah,
like a
yeah.
sort of. But you have other things here too. I mean, obviously.
Oh yeah,
What-
we have CDs, video games, DVDs. Try to have a wide selection of different things, all entertainment related things to something for everybody.
When somebody comes into the store, what is the atmosphere you're trying to create here? Do you have a kind of vision for that?
Well, basically, what I want it to be is the record stores that I always kind of like to go into, where you can just go in and look around, and you're not going to be hassled. No one's going to follow you around or bother you, unless you need help, and then I'm happy to help you find anything you're looking for. But I just want, maybe you come in and you listen to something maybe you've never heard before, and then you could find a record or a CD or whatever, something that you've been kind of had in your forefront of your mind for a while, and you're able to locate it here.
And have you had a lot of what kind of people come in here? Do you have a?
Oh, pretty much all sorts of people. You have people trying to recapture their, when they were younger. People,
That's me, by the way.
yeah, people who just, like records now, and they do all sorts of things. People that DJ and still use vinyl. A lot of different people, and people just, just want to pick up a CD or maybe like something like we sell like cassettes, and nobody has cassettes anymore.
Yeah.
Some people still have cassettes in their car, so like they'll pick one of those up for the road, and something that you can't really get.
I didn't see any 8-tracks. Well, you have any 8-tracks?
I do have 8-tracks. I kind of hide those because nobody buys those.
That's right. They're
Worst
long
format
gone.
ever.
Honestly, yeah, it was almost beta. But what's interesting about vinyl is I always like the sound of vinyl. I like vinyl better than the CDs. The CDs now are so pure, but the vinyl just had that little bit of a grain to it that just made a whole different sound to it. Like if I have an old album that I put on, I like that better than the reproduction in CD.
Well, with records and stuff like that, most music was designed to be put on primarily the LP format up until the late 70s and,
Right.
and the 80s. So in my opinion, that's the way it's the purest form to listen to.
Yeah,
like whatever.
absolutely.
Not that CDs you can't capture the same essence of the music, but it's just kind of just the way it was supposed to be, like with any of those bands before there.
Now let me ask you a question, a personal question. I have an old Gerard 0100 turntable, which was it was a Rolls Royce of the time for turntables, and I can't get any parts for it. It's broken now, and I want to get it fixed. What do you know about that?
Well, with parts and stuff like that, parts and labor, that's going to run you $285. No, I don't know. No. With anything like that, I would just Google
Go online?
That's the best place to get, because there's like few handymen anymore, fix-it shops, I should say, that just work on turntables or anything like that. Your best bet is to go online and see if you can locate anyone.
Because I'm inspired. When I came in here, I'm inspired now to get all my records out.
Well, that's a nice turntable. It's worth trying to put that effort in.
Do you get a
absolutely.
lot of questions? People coming in to cull your knowledge about vinyl and the different record players, or?
Yeah, I get questions about everything, with records and everything, and I for the most of my ability, I try to answer every question, but it's hard to know everything, especially about fixing things, because I can't fix anything. I can break things pretty well, but fixing things, no, that's not my expertise.
That's okay. I won't ask you any basic questions.
What's your number one seller? What do people come in and ask for the most? Is there certain things that, like certain time frame, like are people looking for music from the 60s or the 70s, or is there a certain group that might be,
There's always music from the 60s and that time period goes, like Beatles, Doors, stuff like that,
Right.
like the popular favorite Zeppelin and
Yeah.
like the classic rock kind of stuff
Yeah.
always moves.
Yeah.
But the best stuff I always see is like anything that's, a little more off the beaten
Yeah,
path.
yeah.
Like your punk stuff and your more rare
Yeah.
kind of stuff, like your kind of like your alternative kind of stuff
Okay.
usually goes pretty quickly, just because of the like the clientele that I get to the store. It's
Yeah,
kind of those
college students and- yeah.
college students are those guys looking for kind of weird, Mission
Yeah.
of Burma singles or
yeah.
anything like
Off
that.
the beaten path kind of stuff that you're
Yeah.
not going to find anywhere else, but
Yeah,
you
that
might
kind-
find here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you happy with your location? Did you purposely choose to be on this block, or how did that happen?
Well, before I opened this location, I looked a couple of different spots, and then finally I saw this here. And what was great about it is it was a month-to-month lease, so I signed right away.
Yeah,
I didn't really
yeah.
know too. I'm from the area, but more towards Wilkes-Barre, so Scranton. I've been here, but I didn't know too much about the block. But it just the location looked really great, and I heard about all how the bog was and test pattern and everything like that, and said this would probably be a real nice area to move to.
That's kind of a theme we have, is people from Wilkes-Barre moving to Scranton, open businesses.
Well,
No,
have
wait,
you been to
we're gonna have to
Wilkes-Barre?
edit that out. But you mentioned the Bog, which is a bar across the street
Yeah.
that's been there for a number of years.
A lot of
and is
people's
kind of a
favorite
hub.
bar.
But I know since moving here, you're very involved with trying to make the community better. Like we were talking a little, sometimes you'll have host bands here, and you're involved with Test Pattern. Am I correct on that?
Oh, yeah, that's correct. If you can't make your environment better, then what's the point? Just being here is great, but trying to be here and change something is even better.
Yep.
So what have you been trying to do? Do you have any specific things that you'd like to share?
Pretty much I just want to keep the store going and keep it accessible to like local musicians and artists and everything like that. Anybody who has a CD that they want to sell, I'm always happy to put it on my shelves. Same thing with Test Pattern. We want to just get different kind of artists in there and different kind of musicians in there, and just kind of make it a nice like area where you can go and maybe hear something different or hear some band that is your friends, and just make it real, kind of like a local like hub.
Let me ask you another personal question. Well,
Sure.
Since I'm a vinyl nut, I have a couple old Grand Funk Railroad albums. Are they worth anything?
Grand Funk.
You get this question a lot.
Yeah.
Well, here at Embassy Vinyl, we're personal fans of Grand
Are
Funk.
you really? Okay, awesome.
We like to listen to some Grand Funk every now and again, but as for them being worth a lot, not so much.
Okay, all right.
They're pretty common records, but they're still pretty rocking. So.
Well, you've got to get the right
Do
person.
you have people bring in records?
Oh,
Is that what you do?
I'm always buying everything. It's the only way to keep everything fresh is you got to keep buying and buying and buying and just
Yeah.
try to get as much different things as you can.
All right, how many records do you have in the store, by the way? I mean, do you have a number? I mean,
I don't have I don't have an exact
Yeah.
number, but it's pretty high, and
Yeah.
and we have the ones we have here and between the ones that I have in my house and in
Oh.
the back, we have thousands upon thousands
yeah.
of records out, and we're getting we get new ones out weekly, at least 50 records out a week. We try
Wow.
to keep the inventory fresh.
wow, great.
Well, that's great. I guess our final is how do people find you? Is there a phone number, website, and your address, I guess?
We're at 342 Adams Ave, of course, here, and the phone number is 341-9350. You can give me a call anytime. And website's just embassyvinyl.com. Check us out. And
Great. And what are
come
your
on by.
hours? I guess that would.
Monday through Thursday, we're open from 11 to 7. Fridays, we're open from 11 to 8. Saturdays, 12 to 7. Closed on Sundays, my day of rest.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You're right, gotta
Yeah.
keep it going.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah.
You're-
Thanks
Yeah.
for
Great
stopping
things
by.
you're doing. We
All the best and good
appreciate
luck.
it. Yeah, best of luck. Hi, continuing our downtown business tour, we're standing in the lovely store Nada and Company at 137 Wyoming Avenue, right in the heart of downtown, which is very exciting. It's such a great store.
Yeah, well, and being an old Scrantonian, it brings me right back to the Globe store and the men's department. So I have a little flashback here.
Yeah, it's great. Everything old is new again because now it's a very nice high-end women's clothing store, and it's just such a good fit, I think, for the downtown. It gives it the urban feel and great boutique shopping. And we're actually standing here with the wonderful, lovely, vivacious owner, Nada Gilmartin. So we're so happy to have Nada here because she's just a wonderful person and a great business owner and really cares about Scranton. I think you and your family have done a lot for the city.
That's true, we do. We really are thrilled to be downtown. It was a lifelong dream, to be honest with you, but I thought it was unattainable.
Oh, that's interesting. So when did you move downtown?
We moved downtown in October of 2007. Right at the end of October, we opened in order to coincide with the office party that took place. We thought that was a good idea. Then, of course, it poured rain the entire weekend.
This is one of those success stories that people don't hear about too often, where a business owner comes from the suburbs into the city, and that's very exciting. How's it been going so far, by the way?
Well, you have to remember that the world turned upside down
Yes,
within a year of our moving
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So we're not really comparing apples to oranges. But I love our space. I think it's very effective that we have a larger space here, and it was affordable. Far more expensive in the Abingtons as far as square footage goes. We were fortunate to get something that we could afford and that was large enough for us. There are challenges downtown.
Of course.
I'm not afraid of them, but they're here.
downtown
Yeah. The major issue I thought would always be is what the major issue is, and that's parking. I make no apologies to our customers for that. This is a city, just like any other city, and they'll go to Manhattan and pay a fortune to park and not think twice about it. But it also isn't Manhattan. There are not 20 million stores to shop in, so we do have to be considerate of that, and it's something I'm really working on myself to come up with some strategies to make that a little easier. People are married to their cars. They still are.
Well, what we have to get people to understand too is when you come downtown, what you do is you actually get out of your car and you walk around. That's not a bad thing. I mean, malls are being reinvented now. The shops at Montage, what are they really? They're basically a downtown. You park your car, you can walk along the sidewalk, you go in and out of the stores. And that's what we have to see. People have to get back to that mode when they come to our downtown. Walk a little bit and you're going to see a lot.
But what's different in Montage is there are not empty spaces in between. It's also very clean, it's manicured, it's planted, and that's something we, as a family, along with a lot of other people, are really working on here. We try to encourage some of the businesses that are not open, the buildings, if they could just be lit. I know Maureen and I have talked often about even art spaces in them, an opportunity for artists to have their work. But all of this is difficult. It's not like you can, blink an eye and it's done. But I don't think people mind walking, but they're turned off if they're walking by spaces that might be frightening or threatening, and it needs to be lit. When we first got here, there were, Michael can tell you the numbers, my husband, because he can, but most of our streetlights were out on the city, or on the street here. And we just kind of didn't notice it because we were busy, it was Christmas, and we've since found out how to solve that. There are numbers on them, you call, you say the lights are out, but that's very important. And I think from having not been here, that made more of an impression on us.
Well, I think the answer, too, is that some of the other shop owners have to be as vigilant as you have been. And if they are, and everybody gets together, then, we can solve these small problems that will enhance the downtown. Is there a downtown business group now? I'm not sure if that's...
It is an arm of Scranton Tomorrow,
Okay.
so.
What are some of the positive things? What do you like what's good about being downtown?
There's an energy. When we go into New York to buy, you can't help, you get excited when you get there, and you can't deny that all the challenges that are in the city, it's still exciting, and that's here. That's here. I like the diversity of people, too. Everybody's not as much the same, and I don't know, you see a lot of different stories and imagine a lot of different lives, and it's wonderful.
I think you're going to see within a year or two, you're going to see more people living downtown. There's going to be 9 new apartments finished on Spruce Street, right up the street here, over Pierre's. And, of course, the Connell Building, I think it's 80-some apartments that are going to be done. I think that's sometime towards the end of the year or beginning of next year. So now you've got hundreds of new people living downtown that are going to be shopping downtown, that are going to be bringing new vitality and energy downtown. So that's going to be a big help.
That, to me, is there are 2 key things, people living downtown and people coming here from out of town.
Right.
Because people like to shop and eat, and enjoy the sights when they're on vacation, even if it's just a mini one. And I think, I know that base is out there, and I know that they would come to Scranton. We just have to make sure there's lots for them to do. Now, our new downtown deli has opened, and that is open on Saturdays, and Scanlon's is open on Saturdays, the Radisson, I can go on, but it's hard to find restaurants that are open on Saturdays downtown. So when our customers come, we're, making sure there are lots of places for them to go. And that's something, Saturday needs to be developed downtown. It used to be wild down here on Saturdays.
It was Monday,
Yeah.
Thursday, and Saturday.
You're old enough
Yeah,
to
right?
remember
Right?
these things,
That-
yes.
that Monday, Thursday, I mean, that was a big deal, you know?
It was.
And it was almost automatic. I mean, when people thought about shopping or going to a restaurant, oh, it's Monday night, I'll go downtown, or it's Thursday night, I'll go downtown.
Well, that's what's great about the First Fridays. We see a little hint of that. And what I love about Nada and Michael and Katie, their daughter, is that sort of, they're business owners, but you're also activists in a way, or you're just so passionate about your community.
Well, we live
that
here, and we don't get to go on vacation. So we have to make this as nice as anywhere else. But, I think beauty is very important.
Well, let's
Work at that.
I want a lot of our viewers may never have been in here, so part of this is, of course, to promote the wonderful shopping that is in the downtown. So, do you want to talk about your product lines here, or describe Nada and Company for people?
Sure. We're a little bit indescribable. I think if I ever would advertise, I would say, we're not what you think we are. And we're not today what we were yesterday. And we are not, we're an independent retailer, so we can do whatever we want. If we find pretty ball gowns, we buy them. If we don't, we walk past them. So I think that's something that people need to realize, and people will decide what size we carry, and people will decide, what style we carry. But in this area, you have to have great variety. It would be very easy if you could target into one area, but you have to have a little bit for everyone. And I guess the people who like our store, it's probably because we share the same taste. Not good taste, not bad taste, just similar taste. And I think that's probably what is our identifying thing. There are a variety of things, but probably the style's a little similar. We've always done a lot of accessories because we help people, and we don't care if you bought it here, you can bring it in, put it on, we'll, help you with your jewelry. Even if it's your jewelry, we'll talk about it. We like to talk about things like that. But,
Well, I have to say the exceptional service, because I did buy a dress here for an event, and that's what you get shopping locally. You can go to like a department store and run in and buy something, but here you just feel like the most special person in the world. They'll fit things for you. They will help you match things. So
that's something that is very important to us. But this is our community, just like everything else. It translates into your business. But it's funny because we do a lot of the sewing here. We do all of the sewing here. And very often you think, I don't want to do that. But then you can't send them out that way. I just can't. We're going to see you where you're going, and I want you to look nice. So
That's the difference too of having the owners on site. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, you're not. I hate to criticize, but you're not going to some chain store where you've got somebody making $6 an hour that is invested into the business, and obviously you are very much vested. So
we are, and it's very challenging now. But when right now I would say it's the internet, because that has taken people's need to shop away. I don't mean buy.
Yeah.
I mean shop. I worked at Ann Culkin's here 1974, and we were packed at lunchtime. Packed. And, it wasn't people spending fortunes. It was people with various incomes, maybe buying a necklace for the weekend or a new lipstick. But lunchtime was packed. And now people just don't have to. They can sit at a computer and shop. But there has always been something that was a challenge.
I think it's always the case that what goes around comes around. So I think we're in that mode right now where the computers, the internet, everybody's, not everybody's doing it, but a lot of people are doing it. But they're missing that social experience, and I think that's what's going to come back, and people are going to, and they're going to come back to that. I agree.
You just, and I see it even in our industry. I mean, people are, the retailers, I think, took the hit at the end of 2008. And our vendors, I think, thought, well, it was their turn. When we all cut back, and you can see now they're really struggling. But you have to stay with your original premise, with a willingness to change. But I see them trying to do things, and I think, don't do that. Get through this. instead of offering me 2 dresses, offer me 1. But, you know, don't change your goal. Don't change your quality. Cut your, you know, squeeze it a little tighter, but, you know, keep doing what you do.
How did you, how did you get into the fashion world or retail?
Well, I thought this was going to be my life from high school. I learned to sew. And of course, the first day I went to Marywood, they asked why you were in home ec, and if you said you liked to sew, they said, get out. That's not all it is. So, so that woke me up. But I really thought I would pursue a career in fashion, but I did not. Circumstances didn't go that way. I didn't go to New York for one reason or another. I taught school. And then when I was home with my daughter, friends opened a business, asked if I would work there. One thing led to another. And it really wasn't a dream to have a store. It was just an opportunity that presented itself. And yeah, make the best of what.
And I think we're so lucky because every time I come in here, I'm in a good mood. And even just your window adds so much to the downtown experience. She always has.
No credit for that. That's Katie and Michael.
That's all right. It still counts. So
Family.
The whole family.
I hope that more of our viewers do get down to this lovely shop, and we wish you the best of luck, you, Michael, and Katie.
It's fun. It's always.
Did you have anything else you'd like to add
No,
before we?
believe it or not, I'm good.
Okay, well, that was great.
Well, that was wonderful, and I guess we'll head on to our next destination.
Well, we've made it to the last stop on our destination tour of small, cool businesses in downtown Scranton. We're at Courtside Document Services on the second floor on Spruce Street, and we're standing here with owner Andy McDonald. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Why don't we just start at the beginning, the whole history of how you got into this business?
Yeah, I guess about 20 years ago, my parents had started a quick print center called Sir Speedy at the basement of Park Plaza building, which is just about a block and a half away. As the years have gone, we turned into that quick print found our niche into litigation support services, basically copying, scanning, printing records, and now getting into trial presentation and trial support as well.
So the evolution was you start off in the basement,
Yeah.
made it up to the first floor, and now you made it up to the second floor.
Yep. Yeah. Every move is another level. You know.
Yeah,
So,
and our viewers are going to see the space. It's a phenomenal space that you have here for your new location.
thank you.
Yeah. Now, Sir Speedy is no longer.
Right.
It's just Courtside Documents.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Sir Speedy was a franchise.
Oh,
My
okay.
parents had started as a 20-year franchise, but since it was that quick print and it wasn't
Yeah.
really our niche, as the years went, we did get rid of the Sir Speedy. We didn't sign on another contract, and we added Courtside Document Services.
Okay, great.
At the same time, my parents retired and left the business. Left the business to me.
So, next generation, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
How has it been on the, I know there's been interest in people are curious about why you chose the second floor, and it's sort of different.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was just nice. The building was a KOZ zone, actually, and it was rebuilt. Brian Murray owns the building. He put a lot of work into it. The building just looked great. We loved the windows, and it seemed like Scranton actually had started filling up a lot of first-level
Right.
offices, and we needed a little bit more room, and the second floor just was a perfect niche for us.
Yeah, and it works because you have an elevator to get up to the second floor, and and you can see it from the street when you're walking by. You can look up to the second floor. I think that's what we are looking to get people to do now. As the first floors are filling up, maybe as you're walking down the street, take a look upstairs and see what's happening on the second floors again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Isn't that, Wayne and I, we've talked about this, the health of a city, look
Yeah.
in the basement and the second floors,
Right.
that
And if
shows that there's
stu-
stuff happening.
Exactly, things
Yeah.
are happening there.
So-
Then it's a healthy city.
And I
exactly.
love the way it's designed. Did you
Yeah.
have a specific look in mind when you were?
Yeah, we actually have an architect, Bruce Bicknell, who came in, and he just, he basically did from the bottom up. There was nothing in here. We just wanted some kind of artsy, contemporary,
Yeah.
but then, kind of keep it as a conservative office at the same time. And, he really designed something that works for us.
Yeah, it's
So,
great at space. I mean, and again, our viewers will see as we go around the space. It's got to be a great place to work.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, it's really nice to come into work.
Yeah.
Coming into a good environment. The
Yeah.
employees love it. Everyone loves,
Yeah.
being in a nice lit, clean
Right.
environment.
With natural light and the brick walls and the hardwood floors and
Yeah.
like I said, it's a nice combination of the old with the new.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And how has business been since you've been up here?
Business has been great. We actually had, we moved here 2006 in the summer, so we had the second half year. The second half of that year was on the second floor, and we had our best month and our best year ever. So,
Oh, wow. That's
yeah,
great.
so we're doing, doing very well. Very lucky.
Now, can you explain, I guess, to our viewers a little bit more about what you actually do as far? I know you do a lot of legal work with
Right.
the local law offices, right?
Yeah, we're mostly litigation and professional services. We're just getting calls, pickups, that they have documents, discovery that we'll go pick up. They'll either copy it, we'll scan it. The other thing we do, they're getting electronic discovery, which is kind of the new age of litigation. We're printing it, we're converting files. We've also added software that we think will benefit the law firms in the area, trying to keep up the legal community with technology of the bigger cities that hadn't really hit Scranton. So,
That's great.
Yeah,
'cause
this is
you're
something
only-
we don't
I'm
think
sorry.
about. Oh no,
Yeah,
I was just saying
yeah.
it's something that most people probably don't think about.
Right.
That this is a whole industry based around that.
yeah, we're trying to be, a single source for for all the law firms in the area, instead of them vendoring out in different cities all over.
Yeah, I was
all
going to say
over
that.
the area.
Yeah, you're one of the few that do certain things. You're probably the only company in the area that does some
Yeah.
of those things that you're doing now.
Yeah, we have seen that. The reason we got into that is because it's very hard to mix. We
Yeah.
found out very hard to mix, printing business with litigation, copying, and services. And it's, I think it just needs to be kept separate. And
yeah.
that's where we found. And since that's happened, I think all the firms have been excited about where we're going. We're helping them, being able to bring new technology into their office as well.
Great.
How far do you reach? Like, where's your clientele from?
Right now, we are mostly in Scranton. We do go to Wilkes-Barre. We do have some firms down there. We are looking to expand a little bit more down in the Wilkes-Barre area as well.
Speaking of expansion, how many employees do you have?
Right here, I guess, including myself, there's
Yeah.
6 of us
Six?
that work in
Great,
here.
great.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you had some expansion from Sir Speedy to
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. Yeah, it was three
Oh,
employees, I think, at Sir Speedy.
Okay.
The last couple of years, maybe turned into 4, and
Yeah.
so we've been growing, and ever since we've kind of gotten into this niche, and
Yeah.
and then done research, and we've gotten certified in litigation software, and
Okay.
ever since that's kind of happened, it's just kind of been a snowball effect. Very
Great.
good for us. But
Hey, awesome.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel as a business person in downtown Scranton? What are your hopes for the city, or any thoughts on the future of Scranton?
Yeah, I mean, I think from where Scranton was years ago, I remember being younger, working for my parents, and the change that has happened in Scranton is amazing. I think there's a lot more people out. There's new businesses set up all the time. It's just a really exciting place. I think for anyone to live. I think it's just going to keep growing more and more as the years come.
Yeah, as I said, the storefronts are starting to disappear. The empty storefronts are starting to disappear. I remember the old story when they were filming that championship season in downtown Scranton, and Jason Miller, not Jason Miller, but I think it was Bruce Dern or Martin. What's the other guy's name that was in it? Well, whatever.
Oh,
One of the actors that were in that championship season
Yeah.
kept on going around town saying, Martin Sheen, who is this Heinerfeld guy? Because all they saw was these orange Heinerfeld signs in every storefront because they were all empty. And they thought it was amazing, and how far we've come.
Now we
absolutely,
have
yeah.
a place like this that looks like it could be in New York City.
That's
you know,
right.
it's like
Exactly.
a hip
Yes.
little,
Again, we're doing a little Soho kind of thing all day today on our tour.
yeah, I
with
think
what
all the
we've done.
businesses
Yeah.
we've talked to have had this kind of
Look
look
and
and
feel.
appeal.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
great.
thank you for providing, for
absolutely.
being
Thank you for
downtown.
coming. Yeah.
Well, how can people reach you? We don't want to forget that.
Again, we're on 410 Spruce Street on the 2nd floor. They can reach us by phone numbers 570-969-2991. You can email us copy at courtsidedoc.com. And the website is www.courtsidedoc.com.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
speaking with us.
okay.
Good luck to you, and I'll have to stop by and visit sometime. And you have some nice coffee mugs in the back. Really high-tech
right.
coffee service
Absolutely.
back there too, as well.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
Okay,
thanks a lot.
thanks,
Best of
Ezra.
luck.
Well, this was such a fun day. It was just fun.
Yeah. More cool, interesting places in downtown
Yeah,
Scranton,
that's a
you know?
word I kind of walk around with. This is cool.
Cool.
You know,
Well,
second
that
floor
works.
business and then
Yeah.
a bookstore and a record store.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. I had a good time as well, and it was nice to get into these places that I haven't been before. All 3 of them I haven't been in, and I think a lot of our viewers will have a chance to see things they haven't seen before, and hopefully, come down and actually walk in and, do some business with
it's a
them.
really energizing feeling. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to more adventures.
Hey,
in
I'm
2008.
ready. Absolutely. Well, this is the beginning of 2000. So we're going to do a lot more downtown, all over the city. We have some ideas that we're going to put forth, and hopefully people will enjoy it. So
Okay.
until next
On that
time, this is Wayne Evans.
I'm Maureen McGuigan,
We're Scrantonians.
and that's a good thing.